Khan tuna and in this world enge nam khanin enge relevance ani ve theina angte khan kan han en ve deuh chinanga chuan tuna chuanin enge global issues te pawh kha aronin thak chho ve na sato em a mo chuwang jang khovel pawh kha bipolar world ni to lo khan tuna chuanin multipolar world angte pawh khan asoi thei to ta regional powers le emerging economies and tianan India China Brazil kan ti angte pawh han they have really reshaped the global order mo khanga khanin distribution of power among multiple centers atang khana omto awang khanin international relations dynamics poka aronin thak ve to ni chu khanga khanin tuna chuan challenges shang shang kan lo nei to ta entinanin climate change kan ti te terrorism economic interdependence le multilateral cooperation kan ti ang te non-state actors kan ti ang mo MNCs international organization kan ti ang ti te kha hey, traditional state-centric view ringot ang tipo kanin kan kalto lawani to multipolar world hi chuan. Kanin, one of the primary challenges that NAM is facing is its relevance. Does it still have relevance in this in a contemporary world kanti ang na ani to na chan so as we can see 120 member states vel anom ta na ma hanin kanin they have wide interests of political economic and cultural context mo kan consensus aron kal ti kha har sa ve chi na ni so an enge na membership here diversified em ta kanga kanin regional organizations tam tak te po kha aron piang chau ve to ta ni chu khanga kha entina tuna Africa bi ka te po African Union te kan lo nei ta he ta Asian lama te ASEAN te kan nei ya BRICS te kan nei ya Shanghai Cooperation Organization te kan nei ta khanga khan in platform kha shang kha aron om de to ta ni chu amar chu na mi na kan objective nei ya kha khang platform kal tang te po khan in thil kha alati le theizel ta mo khanga khan in nam hi any question anga relevance ani to lawe ti ang khan chan tu ani law ka ti ve ta ke ma chwani mo khang anga khanin engtin nge nam kha kan man chang kai the zo kang entinanin I neru hun lai I alo ni ta I Panchil principles te kan shanga chawin lai le Jawaharlal Nehru in Panchil principle and saina khanga peaceful coexistence te non interference kan ti ang zong te khan nam khan in Panchil principles te kha adopt na sa em ta khang ang te po kha tun ang multi nge polar world ta complexities of international forum a khanin khang principles te po kha kan la lut vele theizela ni chu mo chung chu nam khan in challenges kha man ang khan ko vel kha a complexities kha in thak to ma se a relevance kha aron play ve the na chen kha ala tam ve ani ti ang zong te po khan question a kha chuan chang theita ila a chat karinga entirnanin United Nations thung anga te po United Nations Security Council te po everyone wants greater transparency more UNSC reforms te po kan so ya khang ang te kan la du em khang te khan nan platform achang te po khanin push dan te kha zon thiam ve te kha anga ya ni chu chuan chan na ma kha chanin strength an la nei ve na chu south cooperation te kan ta yengi man anga west ringot focus world ani ang kha ani to lauta tu na chuanin nam kha chuanin it has the ability to foster south cooperation more it can encourage collaboration among developing countries kan ti hawa nga te knowledge sharing te technology le best practices te po kha in exchange te nan khan platform a khan nam kha man the ta chunga nga chan member states how han in south cooperation te kan lau soi chuanin challenges in ang tak te po kha developing countries han kan lau la nei ve and kirnan poverty healthcare education infrastructure development kan ti anga zong te po khan Tanzan NAM can actually contribute to addressing these global challenges that require collective action more Ranjan, climate change te sustainable development global health pandemics te COVID-19 te po kan so yang kang ang zongzong te po kanin I nam kanin enge a membership le katya ang objectives te ka ala ni chabi matu van as a body ang po kan it is still relevant at many enge forums mo kang anga kanin regular summits de aneya ministerial meetings de kang ang tipo ala ne vele chinta internal climate justice tipo kan law soi chuanin Paris 2015 COP21 conference alaw om tani kata po kan nam countries how kan they played a very significant role in pushing for legally binding agreement mo I kang ang common principles le enge I differentiated responsibilities kan ne na kan ti ang climate change ang ate po kanin nam countries kan as we are all a part of this developing world mo kang ang kanin nam countries kanin I role ka anon na play bete mani to enkinan COVID-19 pandemic at po kanin nam countries actually work together to address the public health crisis mo what did they do they share medical resources their expertise and best practices kanti ang tika sharing and na sa ta ka consistent support ang kang platform mang achang kanin nam platform achang kan even though an mani ron formation na katu Cold War era ang katu ni ma se bipolar hunlai anga kami miltura ron siam tu ni ma se as the time changes kami nam po kanin enge a aim te objectives te kaka ai kanin at tizaw le te so as it is doing right now mo tu vanjanin ikanga te po kan entianan Lal Bahadur Shastri te po kanin engtinye alaw soy kan ti chanin non-alignment will continue to be the fundamental basis of our approach to world problems and our relationship with other countries. Ti po ka non-alignment teka enge kang ang teka kan approach with other countries le enge international approach kan le ang tekanin India as a country te po ka nam principles ka kan lapang changkai chin ani to rights of Palestinian people to na Israel Palestine conflict te po ka ni justice any just and lasting resolution te kan dua more principles of justice te self determination te kan tia Palestinian statehood le khatyang two nation theory te po India jang kan support chin ka and yunan kan bias te kan va show lutuk chin lawani Ukraine te po Russia Ukraine conflict te po kan han enanga mo kang anga kanin we play that very neutral role kan ti ang India hianin ten ti po hinam principles ka kan lakman chang kai the naka ala ni velezel aniti ka we want to be on the safe side and enge tu mati se the kan la nilaw developing countries so at some point we need each other more we need enge tu na te po Israel law zu teacher ringo tila kang ang khatil the ka ala nilawa I mamoton na in mamoton na le diplomacy kan play da na po kanin enge techniques tam tak kha o machungzi nga chuan nam objectives se hitun theng po a India ina I kan naman chang kai alanita ni chunga chuanin nam chuanin it has facilitated economic cooperation and trade among its members through initiatives such as the South-South Cooperation Framework kanti ang chi mo example chuan India Africa Forum Summit kanti ang chi te kang ang chi te Africa le India ina economic ties investment promotion kan ne supporting infrastructure development kanti ang zongzong te kha nam hianin economic cooperation te po kha allow facilitate ve na sa China ni so even though nam as I have mentioned was born out of a geopolitical realities of the Cold War more it has faced significant challenges in maintaining its relevance in this multipolar world because ni tamso so English in zanin to karon so yang IR te ni boka kan answer ka English kan ja thau angaya wang khanin language te kha English kan soi te khanin example la te khan in recall the zok nan khan tu po problem nei kan omlawa mo khanga khanin in lau mai lau tura kalau basic potang to kang ka nam relevance aron play dan so anita to nga chuan its core principles anga anei kan ti kha chu sovereignty independence equitable development kan ti ang zongzong ti po kha it has continued to resonate with many countries still now mo so one by adapting to the changing global landscape and addressing contemporary issues nam can remain a vital platform for advocating the interests of developing countries and promoting global peace and cooperation. Kanti ang kaalan ni may sumansan United Nations te po kanda ni a forum siyang kanda ni kanga kanin nam kanin a relevance ka ala law big law aniti kan answer katupit ka zo kila a relevance at law top aniti ka answer ka adik don law shim sumansan nam relevance te an law zo tani chuanin post Cold War era anga enge na alaw tho ve na ang tele objectives to India po na alakal pui vele zel te na ang ti and yunan kan External Minister S.J. Shankar po kanin the voice of the NAM is here to be heard the voice of the NAM is here to stay and to grow ati kamo ka nga kanin NAM principles tele, NAM objectives tele. The main reason why India chose to adopt NAM teka kan lamang changkai chau ema kimani foreign policy inge kan kalpui chau zel natura for principle changkai tak ani ti nakha alani may relevance of NAMs in today's world ti anga kan soi chuan mo khanga khan ta karon soi hi PPT omlau te po hi oma inlo ngai thanon le pe lawani ponin enge main points ang karon sa Indian South Cooperation karon ti te India Africa Forum Summit te Palestinian people India ina nam kan mangchang kai dat Ukraine issue ani mo Israel Palestine conflict ani mo kan tiang how kha bullet points ang khan in notebook a khan daw zia ve la topic subtopics ang khan mo kami topic noi ang khanin chung chuanin nakina in revise don te po khanin clarity kha apeve de uzo kang che o thil zia tam hi acha anya ngai thak ringot ai hi chuan ti te kan ron soi le do a chuan tuna chuan UNSC reforms a kan lutanga UNSC reform santi ngal top me hi apoi lautura ka ngaya United Nations tu kan chevek to thawa I a topic ang pakhat ponin PPT ai jang ka ronda thawa maro chu engi what is United Nations ti ang kha jang question hi ron chwa to ka ring chang lawa political science optional paper a tipo UNSC reforms ang zong tele engi khami engi body shang shang ina engi an thilti ang chi peacekeeping ang zong te khanin question si an ron zo to china wang khanin United Nations tu kan sheve kanga mo kanga khanin enge Security Council bi ka khanin reforms hi an push na sa ema khami kha enge achung chang ani ti te kha kan ron soyanga non joining heta karon so yang han UNSC reform refers to the process of revising and updating the structure, composition and functioning of the United Nations Security Council. Kaka anime a structure composition ti vel kha reform kha angai na sa ve to ema kanga kanin bodies shang khanin anlo push ve to ni to especially developing nations kan ti ang ti te po khanin mo kanga khanin UNSC kha chu engi ani kan ti twan it is one of the 6 principal organs of the United Nations and it is primarily responsible for maintaining international peace and security and Yunan parliament kan lo neta ministers how kan lo neta UNSC kan sha thiam dan tu cha a cabinet ministers how kan ti ang te mo khang ang a main body kan ti ang which is solely responsible for international peace and security kan ti ang chi te kha UNSC council hi anita a powerful ema members so panga an omta members so panga a chuan member panga kha permanent members anita members so non-permanent members anita 2 years terms ka anni china tikan and seat ka rotation ka chinta ni so chan member pangabi ka they will always remain like that mo United States there Russia France China le UK kan ti ang kanita Oppenheim's international law chuan ingtin nge he a describe kan ti chuanin permanent membership hi ingtin nge ron omtran kan han ngai to chuan permanent membership in the Security Council was granted to 5 states based on their importance in the aftermath of the Second World War. Bo Second World War UN formation kan mo chuan 1945 pa anita UNSC pokanin kang ang Second World War zo inge 5 states based on their importance kan ti ang ti kha anlo mi chauta ani chu wangcha India ang te po hian in tuna hanin Security Council han permanent member ni ve hi a fight na sa ve me mapu po hian a in she ve ni India pe chuan in 8 times in non permanent member si thi kan lo la to ta khanga khan argument shang te po kan lo nei ve and India pe chuan a in chuan pui ve na chin chu enge Human Rights Declaration te participation chatta kan neya kan population te khovela tuna pija atamber ani to ta kan territorial size te kan geographical location te le mo khanga kan strategic importance te kan GDP one of the fastest growing economies kan ni na ang le kan potential ne kan political system khang ang zong kha consideration na unlock khan we deserve to be a part of UNSC anye permanent members ka activate la tani kang ka India chau lo po khanin I an lo activate na sa to a chungzi nga group lang sarzwal how ang te po chu karon data and yunan intergovernmental negotiations kan ti anga po hian in India heta te po hian G4 nations karon ti hi tiang te zia tel ngi ngi tur ne UNSC reforms a chuan mo Brazil Japan Germany le India hi G4 ang khan anin Siam Tani Chung Chuan they are currently pressing for a permanent seat in the reformed UNSC. Mo kang ang tekha alaw nita chuan heta uniting for consensus on coffee club kan ti ang tekhan law siam beleta coffee club te pe kha chuanin engi G4 teka anrod ti theilaw vele chong ta mo kang ang teka Italy, Spain, Australia, Canada, South Korea kan ti ang chi how teka nin they are actually opposed to the expansion of permanent seat of the UNSC. Kang ang ka reforms ani kan it could either be they want expansion or they oppose the movements to expansion. Ang tipo kan atan te beta ni Entiunan Italy le Spain coffee club mi ka chuanin natinge andu law kan ti chuan Germany ka permanent member ani adu law mo they are neighboring countries ang anita chuan heta India ka tuin nge mindu lawang kan ti chuan obviously Pakistan kan permanent member kan ni ka andu don law shim mo chuan heta nge Argentina ang tipo kanin Brazil ina alaw bitte ka adulaw jan heta Indo-Pacific lama Japan bitte po ka Australia in alaw dulaw veta kang ang ka engi contradictory movements ka aron omtaw vele ni so heta tipo L69 group kanta developing countries L69B kina an mani to ka push an law siam ve ang site Arab League kanti ang heng pathum ang tehisya ula intergovernmental negotiations at chuan atok me yang mo khang ang kha alaw nita UNSC bika chuan chubang cha India po hanin phu kanin ti ve na kha chu factors kha atam ve to ta non permanent members te kha kan law ningun ve to ta mo khang anga khani peacekeeping missions pay to somli chuang fe te kha kan law thon ve to ni chu Sri Lanka Congo name it North Korea South Korea te po mo khang anga khanin India hianin participation hi nei tha real ti han kanin sheve a om kanin ti ve ngoi ngoi ani ki kha anita chuan UNSCB ka phe chuan matinge nge permanent membership hi anwa push na sat te kan ti chuanin first of all veto kan ti ang chi te mo khang ang te issues shang shang a om ve ni chu nga chuanin G4 phe hi chuan engtinge a push b kan ti chuan G4 hi a push to a chuan apui moles wala 2004 khanin anron create ani more security council reform tur khan G4 group hi khang anga khanin engi an key features kan ti chuanin United Nations Security Council bi ka hanin under representation na anti mani mo chuwang chuanin enge han en pon members le council bi ka chuan representation khazu atlim ma 15 altogether and 5 ka permanent member an la box ya chung chu expansion kha omni ngai tur ani atia 15 te po kha 25 atanga 26 te omse chuanin permanent membership kan ti te po kha expand ni se chuanin enge territorial representation entinan hetlama African states Asia Pacific state Latin America le Caribbean state achang te po Caribbean state achang te po khanin representation kha om thatok law te khan an sheve ani chumo khang ang kha chuan veto kan ti hi enge kan soithui lawang veto chu in sheve kanga mo khanga khanin flexibility te om thei se mo khang ang te kha enge achan chu kan politicize na ve na sata veto ang te po hi entirnanin issues kan han soi thei me a chuanin China te po hianin enge Pakistan tehi achan be riau China mo khang anga khanin entinan Masud Azhar global terrorist anga name to nan ti te po khan China han ati du lok chin lawa so when it comes to Israel Palestine conflict ni po han USA hanin a veto zel China ni chu mo khang anga khanin Ukraine issue anga te po ti khan Russia te kan law ne ya China te kan law ne ya issue shang shanga khan veto power hi an abuse na sa ve ta khang ang te po kha veto anga hanin flexibility te om se khang ang kha G4 model khatwanin aron suggest ve ani chu mo kang ang tekhanita chuan democratic and inclusive election te apahoy takin omse ti te po kha G4 ina aron ti ve nita United Nations General Assembly kan law neta, which is a fairly larger body as compared to UNSC mo kang ang tekhanin enge representation ka UNGA chang tipo kanin election based ang tipo kan omseti ka ay kanin nasazokin alaw ni vele tani tunga chang why does the Security Council need to be reformed ang zong kan question tipo ka local se atang to Security Council katuan first of all they play a very crucial role in peacekeeping and conflict resolutions mo a decisions take a binding ani so to all member states ang atikan so and representation reflecting the current global landscape tikani ani law khatwanin aboy thak ve ni so since they are the sole responsible body in the UN for maintaining peace and international security mo kang angka ka a composition te po hi kan han en swanin the current composition of UNSC is based on geopolitical situation which was back in 1945 mo to one things have changed a lot kang ka 1945 for geopolitical situation ang ren kantil ka akal thei to lawani so since then tuna phechuanin kan membership te po 193 velami ka member states kan nei to ka kang ang ka ani to ta chuanin contribution shang ang te po hi G4 countries te po khanin an recognition ka ini underscore ka anti-veni to more UNSC khan kanga khanin with the changing scenario of geopolitical situation UNSC po hi it is high time to change the ang khanin argument ka omve thei ta ni chu nga chuanin kha engkin nge in the long run UNSC hi reform law ni law zel ta se chuanin enge member states how po hian we will lose hope in the United Nations mo kang ang kha it could potentially dilute the UNSC's effectiveness chuanin khalawa khanin alternative forums te po khatu na nga te po indian multilateral issue anga ani te po khan alternative forums hi aron omto zela kang ang te po kha enge kan da pui mo to zo kanga UN enge effectiveness kang at undermine ve thei ani so fi te kha han shetelila so nga cha a procedure UNSC reforms at po han kil thei vek alani mo khang ang a procedure te po stage pahni te o mga enge GA United Nations General Assembly at an han tha anga mo two-thirds majority which is at least 128 states ina an endorsed te ka angaya one state must hold one vote mo khang anga kanin right to veto ang teka as per 27 article of the charter it does not grant the right to veto vote on second stage allow ang mga kanga tipo two-thirds including the 5 permanent security member councils mo kang ang teka procedure of UNSC reforms within the United Nations ang atan allow ni teta kang ang kanin a way forward to ang atanin engyen yang ganti chuan engagement on a bigger picture le consensus building te poka ani ve angai na sa to me machula wa chanin yang amendment of UN charter te po hi ahun veto ani so chan veto power kan ti ren chin ang te po it's high time to reconsider and reform the veto power mo tiang ring ani ka chanin it would disrupt the balance which is need for decisive action which concerns about many things in security issues ang ate kan so nga chanin council effectiveness te ka strengthen te ka angay ta so nga chanin cooperation and coordination with UN bodies regional organizations the relevant stakeholders te tan po the feeling that we belong together and this is actually a multilateral institute where everybody enge kanva representation kanva nei ve the na kan ti ang mo khang ang the main objective of United Nations ka reform kan kal pui lo ani hi chuan in the long run kha chuan in effectiveness kha at seve the to don ani ti kha argument to ani tamita chu cha India te po khan in ti khan kan soi to ang khan initiative tam tak kha alaw la vele to ta mom kang anga khanin representative permanent council non-permanent member at po kan law NATO fauchina entinan voiriat kan law NATO ta kang te po khanin an period chung within those 2 years a khachanin an push ve na sa china ni chumo man tum te po khanin US president local ang te khanan law soi china India te po hanin India US enge bilateral relationship chung changa po UNSC reforms a permanent membership kan thu ve ani ti hi kan tho lang ve nge chin ani chu multilateral forums a hian amaro chu thil hi olsam takati thei alani lauta khanga khanin e consideration and tinan leaders chang te po min support to te mo countries developed countries permanent member ami te po min support to te po kan daw hu ve to china amaro chu on the other hand da khanin problems dang alo om china wang khanin UNSC reforms si harsa VMM ani chu India ina a stand nei ve ang chi te kha alo ni ta chani intergovernmental negotiations te kan tia chan heta UNSCB ka chuanin enge reform areas kan tia chuan helai ho ang te hi in lo enanga mo khang ang te kha ani tamita chuan challenges and face chung changa te permanent P5 chung chang lack of consensus kan tia te chuan with the global enge tun na ya global issues kan nei a te khanin an effectiveness I ba tho lang le zwal tur kha chuanin reform an mamo ani ti te kha answer a chuan tiang zong khanin in lo zat kham don ya IR I always believe that the key to scoring very good marks in IR you have to be very diplomatic in your answer writing mo you cannot be like hey in bias ka in show wak tur ani law ma ni kha diplomacy in play kya mangaya nang ma kha J Shankar amo I ti anga yang chu tiang khop chanin I thil kha zia thiam le zia ngai nom te kha angai ve ni tu mani opinion da pop te po kha apoi reng lau tura ka ngai ta I pol science paper a po IR a khanin bookish lo deu khan ka zia ka ni chu ki ma pe chanin I SCO chungchang ang te po kha he Ukraine chungchang a te po khanin tu na ya summit an nei ang chi ang te ka da lut bak ka mo khang anga te khanin I IR a te po khang ka mo chat pha ve ani ti te po kha han soi ve la chu wan chanin ma ni opinion le way forward da kan I clear dan kan zia thiam ang te po kha answer thui vak lawa po khanin ngai nom dewa in zia thiam khan facts te in da tam thiama I enge tema analysis type ang dewa in wat tackle khanin an appreciate le zwal karing ani mo chung ang chu alo ni ta meta bimstack hi chu kan khoi shi lo anga tu na chuanin du le ngor first class a heavy lutuk lau how tur deuh hi han khoi photila chuan just kan man deuh huna khanin tema ol sam deuh ang tur ang zong te khan han kal le taila chuan tuna chuanin Modi's foreign policy ti te hi thil ron chhuak ve thei anita khang te kha han khoi tel ve mei taila entirnan tuna Modi's foreign policy ti ang laupanin khatya ang deuh zong po khan aron kal ve thei ani chumo khang ang te kha kan current prime minister te an nita NDA alliance te po kha third consecutive term anron lata Modi 3.0 te po anron kita khanga khanin India's foreign policy kan ti ang te po khanin I khatya ang base dewa question aron chwa khanin independence nuwa India's foreign policy ringot je ang te khanin question hi anron ti chwa to karing lawa chu wangchan tu na kan current government dina eng ang foreign policy eng ang nge prioritize areas ani tur ang ti ang zong te khanin question kha aron omve theita khanga nga te khanin Modi's foreign policy ti ang zong te han I topic kha karon da ve ani chu chanin kan han shat thiam dan tur chanin hemi base han karon so yanga inawit enanga nang mani po tuna hanin NDA alliance kan kita BJP led NDA alliance hi 18th parliamentary election a khanin enge anon chakle ta mo ma se majority ang khachu ani to lau ti te ka han chetai la chuwang chanin an hemi Modi 3.0 an tianga te han eng priorities nge anon ta masakang kan ti chuanin a first ta chuan as always NDA government hi chuanin neighborhood policy hi anon ngai poimo masaber thina ni chu number 1 a han anon da le to in alan mela tuna po hian mo tuna te po i neighborhood first policy ang ki chu heta gadgil policy te kan lo mu to a independence kan nei nu te pon ti khan leaders in a neighborhood kan ngai tha lo na tur khan in a chan chu ke india phe chuan in kan immediate neighbors ti how hi kan enge enemy states te an lo ni tlang pui box ya khata khan in internal security reasons awang te le engkima neighbors to an poimo vekta india phe chu hemi south asian region a phe chuan big brother role play tur tata responsibility kan ni ang hang kan ngai vi kan ti kha mo kang anga khanin top Asian, South Asian leaders te po hian oath taking ceremony at tihan an han som beze akang te po khan it signify a lot of things mo neighborhood policy kan ngai poi mo masak ber ang te po kha atilang chiang be na sa che na ni chuan tuna chuanin hemi government da an ron ngai poi mo le thar ma hi chu enge international organizations kan zir pon hemi base de uhlek chanin kan ron ziranga Indo-Pacific region he is fairly a new term mo ma chanin Asia Pacific tipo anti trinta Indian Ocean and adjacent parts of Pacific Ocean kan ti how he Indo-Pacific to animata hi tun na ya big tak pe hi chanin as a concept ang hian aron lar to ma athan chu it has strategic linkages mo Indian Ocean le Pacific Ocean chanin hen countries som level ki majority of the trade passes through these routes mo kang anga khanin poimo na tam tak anron nei to ta Indo-Pacific kan ti angte achan chu China's foreign policy te kan han en chuanin heta BRI project te OBOR ani ang chi te string of pearls theory kan ti te mo khang ang chi te kha aggressive tak khanin China hanin foreign policy hi aron kalpui hi chu kan hai lo en tinan South China Sea te presence aron ne aggressive ma Indian Ocean lama te mo heta Sri Lanka ne te po kan buai na tamjok chu China's presence hi ani zel to a kami a string of pearls theory manlaya Silk Route theory ron revive le atum na lama hianin Indo-Pacific region hi enge China's emergence awang hian it could be under a lot of threat no khanga nga khanin Indo-Pacific region hian chu wang chan tu na nga te po regional forum thar shang ron om to hi antinan formation of Quad kan ti te po hi Indo-Pacific region atanga khami awareness aron swato China's counter measure tur ang khanin regional forum se poka anon siam na sa to ani chu Indo-Pacific region kan soite ang chu ni meta tunang na chuan it is based on a concept mazok ang hian nakal to a population te kan nga mo Asia Africa Australia America kan ti ang zongjong te poka Indo-Pacific region a khanin kami adjacent parts of Indian Ocean and Pacific region ka omani te kahan soitay la chuanin hemi a hianin greater push aron nei don ti hi achiang ta active participation te Indo-led US-led Indo-Pacific programs kan ti te ASEAN mangten mo nga khanin activities shang kha kan nei thar tura khan hanin ngai le taila chuan number 3 a chuanin enge meta actis policy kan ti ang chi te kha enge actis policy pe 2014 na anron establish kan ita tu na han 2024 han a 10th anniversary anita cha ta look is policy atangin 2014 na act isa anron thakta khanga khan India's engagement with the east angkha ASEAN countries kan ti tele heta further east Japan Korea Australia kan ti ang zongjong thleng ne na long lasting strength and strategic leadership anete nan khan India han it has to deeply watch and act on the geopolitical developments including US China rivalry mo khanga khan active policy te kha ama aya chakzo ka ren strengthen atum na kha ani chu mo number 4 ang ati chang kan mu the dan chuanin enge foreign investment te aron kai poi mortan manga self reliant ni hi kan tum ve na sa to atuna chuanin khanga khanin partnership te po kha new phase of relationship te developed countries US ang achang te khanin kan mu chauzel khanin be sei taila chulawa chan free trade agreements kan ti ang te po hi apoi mo ma exports te kan tisang du'a heta India rama tipo foreign direct investment tele valuable technologies te kan secure chauzel to a Kanga Khanin, India will continue with the new FTAs more and would like to conclude the one with Tuna Ane Meka po FTA Chuan UK, European Union, Bangladesh, kanti ang ti teka anita chuan ASEAN countries sinena kan FTA te po kha review kha anile don ta khang ang teka anita chunga wa chuanin regional integration na chuan BIMSTEC te hi aron ngai point mo chau em ta heng ang pei chu BIMSTEC a pei chuan kan ron lu chuan inzir dan tura BIMSTEC ta du deuh pei chu enge BIMSTEC khianin engtin SARC relevancy ni ko khan ron chwa to zo kha karinga maro chu ron chwak lawa enge SARC relevancy BIMSTEC khianin aron la thei angem ti angchi te mo khang anga khanin a shan pain BIMSTEC chu kan ron soile thawanga khang anga khanin BIMSTEC bikha six summit te po kha Bangkok September 2024 anga tinei turanita khang anga overseas summits kan ti ang haute khang regional integration te po kha ang ai poimo tu thu kha anon tar lang nasa to ma chuan chulawa chuanin Middle East chungchang angte more India Middle East Europe Economic Corridor IMEC kanti ang chite heta Bab el Mandab Strait kanti te major choke point ani ka maritime traffic ate khang ang kha economic gains le geostrategic gains kan nei the nan khan in India khan in enge Middle East remain the mainstay of India's foreign policy mo khang ang te khazak te dila chan enge adot le chuanin bilateral partnerships kan nei be it Australia, be it Bangladesh, Bhutan, Brazil, Indonesia, Korea mo khang ang zong kha PM Modi hianin it nge ron tribe le zwal kha atung emema chuanin kan sha thiam dan tur chuanin NDA government hianin bilateral strategic partnership hi angai lu ema mo multilateral ai po hianin bilateral hi effective atizo kani chu khang anga khanin anjin kwal na sa Modi te po in mo anga chuanin atlang puya kan han sui thiam dan tur chuan India hi 2047 tawa te pizza US 5 trillion economy ani tur thu le global leader aron play tur thu te po kha an lautar lang ve na sato em khanga khanin thil achieve tur tam takte ala neita amar chu khovel hi abwai ve atuna te po Israel Palestine conflict lo ama ta Russia Ukraine conflict mo tuna Bangladesh kan neighboring countries a Middle East a khang ang kha problems kha neu kha atam ve ta khanga khanin kan tum ang te khain tinan Myanmar te po ti khop khan Afghanistan te Myanmar te po khanin engagements kan ba nei ve na satani kan sha thiam dan tur chani ma se military junta te nan ron lallet le a Afghanistan po khatyang thau khanin mo khang anga khanin kan tum ang kha kan thlen thei lo na kha atam ve chin emema foreign policy hi thil har satakani it keeps changing with time so an rei lo te a khanin enge global scenario hi tu nang la phi chan thil hi a in thak zung chin boksa khang anga khanin priority sectors ang tur khachu khang ang kha animata neighborhood policy kan ki emo act east policy kan ki emo Middle East te khang ang zong a khanin priority sector kha aron nei chho ve to don ani te ka han che tai la chuanin an next chuan ro voice break kan nei lo ko nge minute khat ve is currently under threat more Indo-Pacific region and considering the fact that it is one of the most busiest linkages more maritime ani mo khang anga khanin hemi region hi him angai ema khang awanga common interest anne awanga US Japan India le Australia runkal hawina quadron siam kha anlau ni tamita uncommon interest chan engi ani kan ti chuan every one of them wants a free and open Indo-Pacific region more khanga khan they want to promote democracy, they want to promote human rights, rule of law, and countering China's expanding influence in the region. As we already know that China is currently perform very aggressive foreign policy kan ti ka kang anga te kanin kwad hianin. It is time we come together and we counter this measure anon ti ve na ang ka anita chuang jan the quad has so far had several meetings even at the ministerial level ani laupon enge leaders level kan ti ang si ate maritime security te and discuss infrastructure development sungsang supply chain kan ti ang more economic cooperation te po anron soivek kan ti ka kang ang kha kwat hawina an main aim to allow nitani as a mechanism anga chuanin it is mainly seen as a mechanism for balancing China's influence in the region more although its members have stressed that it is not a military alliance ani to antilaw amaro to it is open to other countries who share their values and interests ka anime kang anga kanin engi a genesis kanti chuan evolution kanti chuan 2007 kanin ASEAN Forum kan Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe and Lumtak Khan. He was the first person to propose the idea of creating the Quad. It materialized. That idea got materialized in the year 2017. Khan once again because 2017 the growing danger posed by China more. The four nations started agreeing to the fact that they need to revitalize the Quad by expanding their goals and devising a system that was aimed to gradually establish an international order which was based on rules. Mo kang anga kan in 2020 at Tipokan in India, US, Japan, Malabar naval exercise kanti ang si teka alaw omleta. And they also expanded to include Australia. So ang kang first official grouping ka since its resurgence in 2017 ka 2020 kan anlaw neta so an covid period te kan law tlenga virtual meeting te 2021 ang te kan anlaw neta so ajan quad ang functions kan ti ang khatwanin tang te pohi kan karon dabi no la eng moni khatso loose grouping ang anita formal alliance angin an omlaw ta quad kitmo a decision making amo secretariat internan NATO or United Nations ang kan an NATO ang law khatyang body ka chuwangcha ending a alliance and maintain kan ti chuan it is maintained through summits te meetings information exchanges kan ti le military drills kan ti ang kaltlang khanin angon maintain le anita meta 2017 le 2019 kanin voi nga vel ka anin muta raising na dialogue in Delhi kanti ang tipo ka Navy chiefs ang teka anron in Mukoma tunga chuan in 2021 na chang chuan online then virtual meeting aniemo in-person meeting aniemo enge summits lian thamdeu te lo omse kami site anga kanin kwat enge summit meetings te ka anlaw nei vele china ne chu mo ka kanin regional security strengthen nan te kanin an ngai poi mo enta freedom of navigation te kanta UNCLOS United Nations Convention of Rule of enge ka unclose kanti law of the sea kanti ang sea te ka an ngai poi mo mani chu China is known to keep breaching this unclosed laws. No kang anga kanin UN clause te po kanin China hena hanin internal South China Sea issue po ti chuan tiro atya hey azom thadu thin lawani chu kang anga kan international law te kha respect ni se ti kha anron au puina sa ma kang ang de China's growing assertiveness in the region ka alaw na sa to boxa so they wanted to balance the China's rise and prevent it from altering the status quo in the region. So they basically want to maintain the status quo. So in Indo-Pacific region, mid 2022, the Pekatuan Quad countries they decided to allocate around $50 billion for infrastructure. Mo kang ang teka allow nileta people to people ties teka hey ay chale zokin omse te humanitarian work ani amo be it climate change ka ang ka an goals te po ka initial goals sa tilaw te po ka anon tunlod vele te zelta ka ang ka allow nita quad b ka chuanin a significance kan han so idon chuanin tunakaron so zong ka anita so kada til lawa PPT ahan India and China relationship hi alaw poi mo VMM kang kha especially with the emergence of China mo kang angte a Silk Route aron revitalized tumdan string of pearls theory ane dante tuna OBOR project akal pui mek dan angte kha I countries tam tak tan kha chuanin threat lian tak kha alaw ni ve the ani ti te ka han she tai la khang anga te po khan India te po khanin atel ve du law khamo chan chu POK region te kha an law ti te la India ta na thil sensitive tak tak te kha thil tel thei kha alaw ni ta maritime security and kinan piracy chungchang illegal fishing chungchang navigation chungchang a te khanin sensitive issues kha atam ve me mani chu enge squat hi outcome kan ti cha eng tin nge ram dang hian in quad formation hi an ron hu ve o ti te po kha in lo curious ni theita a response hi enge a kal enge a kal pol ve noi ni tu chen in min lo support line na chen in an lo du lo em man tin na Russian foreign minister pe ka chan in Asian NATO alo ti hiala ni chu China pe chan Indo-Pacific NATO atita mo khang ang te kha I an lo lak ve dan kha anita an enge policy le enge an tum kha soi chiang vyaw ma se an formation hi adik tak chuanin alliance formal alliance ang po nilaw ma se ram pakhat va counter na tur ang aniveti na kha chu tu man an hai lawa amaro chu measures tam tak kha an aim sa khan an da tilri awang khan in chu tia enge all in goodwill ang valante tirve na ang tepo kha omni chu wanga foreign policy hi chu a tricky ya mo phakar thiam ti angaya diplomacy khel thiam ti angai ve em khang ang kha alo ni ta cha limitations enge om theyang ti ang ti hi kwat a chuanin thil om ve the ni ta ahma sabera chuanin definitive structure kha an nei lawa kan soi to ang khanin secretariat le permanent decision making body kan ti formal structure ang khan an kal lo awang khanin effectiveness te pro kha anasa theilaw ani ti kha chu a chiang renga mo chuanin China's difficulty kami an va address na po khanin an ma ni le an ma ni te po hi anin nge muthiam lo vele china ni chumo Australia ang te pe hi chuan chu kan soi to ang khan submit an nei tur po ti khan an cancel la khang ang te kha chang le China side lam ma chang riau ni anga han lan te kha ang te kha til om ve the na domestic politics te allow tama chuan geopolitical challenges shang te allow tam ve ta chuan coherent actions kha an lack ve na sa china ni chu wang chuanin enting e kwa thi he aya na sa zo ka akal le the a chat le the ang kan ti chuanin kami an commitment le an engagement ka he ai hian na sa zoking strengthen se and yunan na china kan ron soi to ang chi regular meetings te official le working groups kan ti ang chi te po kha he aya enge regular zok ten om thei se mo khang expanding engagement ang khaw chuan countries shang ang te po kha observer status ang te pon la se mo khang ang chi kha an mani le an mani a po kha nin mason na tur kha an langa vi mani chu allow nita Jaishankar Khan in 2024 Khan in it is a platform that generates practical outcome allow ti ve ni chu kwat kha mo khang ang te kha in za tel thei chan a chadon lu tu platform that can generate practical outcome kha atita chu wang chan we have a very huge belief and trust in Quad more so far khanin to na kan current issues like kan current problems kan face neighboring country atanga enge challenges kan face te po kha heng countries powerful tak tak ne na in cooperate nan kha chuanin we can become a big family mo chang kha ang kha problems te kha alawin sukyang be the ani ti kha trust kha kan la nei lian ma chuan India to na latest summit an nei tur ang te po kha lo ngai changi la mo khang ang te kha entilnan exam ma lo ka te po thil lo thleng se relating to quad ang te kha ja tur kha updated te kha in lo nei thei ani kha chuanin a impressive le zwal don ani chu chang tu lo check tu te tan po khan ti te kha kan non sei le du a chuanin a next ta chuanin du le neighboring countries hi patni amo pathum kan ti lenga turot le ma poimo zwal deuh tur anga ka ngai hi an tinan vai chuang ka ron ti pui lo cheunga Indo Bangladesh kan tianga India Sri Lanka le Indo Myanmar hau kha kan ron sui le thuak thuak anga hun kan nei tam em lawa first we will start with India Bangladesh relationship athan chu tun na ya Sheikh Hasina political vacum layouts ouster ka omawang khanin that could have a very serious implication for India and Bangladesh relations mo kang ka current affairs issue allow ni awang te po khanin I question a khanin I allow the na chance kha atam ve ni chu chuanin a brief taka kan han soi don chuan India Bangladesh ang hi chu soi tur hi atam a an liberation swal chwa dan po with the help of India mo during the time of Indira Gandhi kan ti ang chi te kha alaw nita chuanin an relationship big pay hi chuanin ro ta han karan da em Okay, kada tambak law ni hita hitan mase inaw siya twak katan chani India Bangladesh relationship pitu geographical proximity awang hanin kan ne chale zwal ema India nanin we share the longest boundary with Bangladesh mo kang akanin Bangladesh ka Act East policy kan ne na ate BBI initiative kan ne na ate kanin it is a very essential component for India to vanjam Bangladesh nen handling relationship tha akan nge hi angai reng china ni India tan chuan ki te kha kan foreign policy in base na chu anita khang angkha enge chuan major irritants issues te kha kan nga time 29 illegal immigrants kan ti emo Rohingya issue kan ti emo NRC CAA issue te river sharing agreements ate khanin enge problems kha kan face ve na sa to ani so amar to despite all that the relationship it has been rather good as compared to other neighboring states mo but then recently political tiang khan outburst te anlaw neta khang anga khani ingi India ina implications kami banga alaw ne theyang ti angkha kan han en thuak ang non chanin an liberation ne dan te po kha India chanin enge Pakistan hwayan chinta Bangladesh kha chu so it actually helped Bangladesh achieve independence more so this set the tone for future relations so in the first phases a khachanin athathau ti kha ani topta amaro chu military ruling te an han nei ve ta khang anga khanin enge tension te kha aron lian chau ve le ta amar chu post 1991 kan LPG reforms nu anga phe chani normalcy a khan kan ron lut ve le to ta multi party democracy te kan lo nei ve le to ta an ma ni lam anga te po mo khang angkha and yunan Ganga River water sharing agreement te kan lo nei ta chuan heta 2009 ate zero tolerance towards terrorism angte kanlaw nevele tota so 2019 the pokanan president Sheikh Hasina Khan India aron visit ka mo khang anga te pokanin India and Bangladesh hail their relations as model good neighborliness te po anlaw ti ve to kha khang kan bilateral cooperation te po kha atha chau ve to ema irritants kan nei na ang 29 T-Star River water sharing ate kha chan tle min in mu thiam lo na ang te kha chu alo om thin ta amaro chu kong tam taka Bangladesh nen hi chuanin kanin ngei ang reng chin khop me chu wang chuanin khang ang hau kha Bangladesh ne na kan relationship ang chu alo nita a ingi major irritants anga om thei kan ti chuanin ingi thil concerning thei deuh angte kan han ti kha chuan na china karon so ito ang kanin Rohingya issue kanti ang te kha enge issue lian tak khan ita chan chu Muslims have traditionally resided in Myanmar mo chan ma se Myanmar how kanin they refuse to acknowledge them as citizens so as a result systematic disruption and han faced so that Bangladeshi how kanin inge Bangladesh countries at kanin an han lut ka loi ani kha kha security pressure kha Bangladesh aron ludve na sa ema since India has good relationship with Myanmar, Bangladesh, so it expects India to pressure the Myanmar government to accept the Rohingya refugees. The angzong tepo kanin tilka akal ve the ni so khang angkha a dynamics kha enge India atang khan expectations anlo ne ya mo Rohingya po khanin India po khanin enge thil hlau kha lo nga ve tho se kha nga khanin thil kha nge a chezong khanin akal ve the na sa em ani cho lawa chani NRC kan ti te to identify citizens and distinguish them from illegal immigrants kan ti ang ti te ka Government of India in aron initiate ka anita chuan heta CAA issue kan ron lut le ta I khang anga ti chuan in religious minorities from Pakistan, Afghanistan and Bangladeshi who entered India before December 2014 will be recognized as Indian citizens kanti ang kaaron nileta kang anga po kanin Bangladesh nen kanin enge enge secular state te anlaw ni ve na anga mo kang ang ka adverse manner ang kanin India's goodwill te po ka alaw lak vi te ani so lawa chanin river water sharing agreement Ganga at po kan neta 1966 kan which was supposed to be valid for 30 years mo kang ang kanin Ganga river water sharing chung sanga te kanin enge agreement te kan law siam to ta Bangladesh kan stand an law neta India pon stand an law neta amaro chu kan so ito ang kanin enge Tista River ang atikan tension areas ka alaom ve him im ta mo antunan mase kanhan so ito ang kan foreign policy at so anin Gujarat doctrine te po kanhan siya ang atir lang pa nga kan foreign policy kan follow kanin neighborhood policy neighborhood first ite kan nga ipoy mo im vang kanin Bangladesh te po ka relationship thani sham ka kan tumchi na ni so India le Bangladesh pe hi chuan in river som nga pali vel hi kanin share khang ang kanin mase river chung sang ate pe cha agreement hi tuna hanin pahni amo che han kan la sign ta ani chu mo khang ang khan issues dang concerning the tura chanin bang radicalization of Bangladeshi society kan ti ang chi te heta terrorist movements kan ti ang te ang poka infiltrations te khatlama chang khanin alaw lut na sa the em khan propaganda mangten mo radicalization mangte khanin khang kha anron ti heightened le zwal the ani so lawa chanin China's presence hi bilateral relationships kan je shim chanin kan China hianin min hwal ne ve to em ti top ti ang mo a new projects ang atang pe chanin Sri Lanka nen ti po khan kanin mu thiam lo pha na sa ani chu heta port vel chung changa ti po khan chung ang thau chanin Bangladesh ti po khanin it fluctuates deepening economic kami intervention kan ti ang si kang ang kan India's interest po ka even though it plays a significant role in creating Bangladesh India's interest ka anlaw undermine ve na sa China ni to ka India po ka alom law ve China considering the fact that we have a very tense relationship with China mo kang kanin diplomatic relations ni te ka alaw har sa ve Chinta chung lawa chuanin investments te kan law ni ta Bangladesh yan in BRI te po ka China's initiative te ka alaw joint ta khang anga khan India po khan khang te ka irritant anga te po khan amuleze te ta kha ang how kha India le Bangladesh relationship chu alaw nit ta de umita kan soi thui tam lawang chan chu topic dang hi kan soi man don law chuan chuanin a significance kan ti chuan geostrategic geopolitical economic cultural and civilizational kan ti te chuan heta SARC platform BIMSTEC platform te UNFCCC platform kan ti tele platform shanga khanin enge khang issues kha significance kha anga ve ani chu mo kha anga khanin ashan pa in internal security khan PDF karon thon to cheu ka in ka sha shi khasina enge tuna an issue chung chang bi ka hian cha khami PDF kha in lo mang do na khami thau kha enge midang po hanan an suggest thau anya mo khami kha drishti IAS amane khami PDF bi kha Indo Bangladesh relation to na an mani political vacuum an nei tak le enge khami ongoing issue apo khan kha in lo chiaranga kha anga khanin enge information tam taka omang mo kha India ina enge stand lak tur ang ati ang chi te po kha tam takin na India ka okay tuna Myanmar kan lo lutang pahni kan tenga kan tir rang deuh tuang nang mani po in revise to te in na ka ringa Tanjang class to a revak ki exam at night to hi chuan chi lo India and Myanmar bi kai chuanin enge recent development anga chuanin FMR regime te kan tita khang angchi issues te po khathil ron kal ve theni ta FMR bi ka po hianin ashan pa in I material ka ron pe cheunga mo khang angkha YouTube pa explanation kan ti angchi te po kha toi te kha om ve ani chu India and Myanmar relationship hi chu ka ron explain thok anga I 1600 kilometers well hi kan share ani chu maritime boundary nen mo land boundary nen khanin four northeastern states, Arunachal Pradesh, Nagaland, Manipur, and Mizoram had kami boundary ko kan share ta. So nga tani enge religious, linguistic, ethnic ties ka kan nga ema and further Myanmar to Asian country ani avang kanin kan gateway to Southeast Asia alaw nilaw thaylaw ta chuan chan Myanmar ni na kan relationship kan soitel chuanin Act East policy te po kha Myanmar tel law chuanin India han kan kalpui chale thaylaw ani ti te po ka han she tayla kang te ka answer akhan in han ziak te langa mo Act East policy big ang te kha sorry chuan Indo-Myanmar pi kai chuan enge a significance adang kan ron so chuan chu na china ka ron soi ang thau Southeast Asia country atana kan gateway tak tak ania essential gateway ania chuan regional cooperation a po Entiunan South Asia le Southeast Asia big tung changa te po BIMSTEC kan ti ang chi te Mekong Ganga cooperation kimi Mekong country and sorry Mekong Ganga cooperation kan ti ate po kan Myanmar hi apoy mo ta chuan Northeast Connect kan ti ang chi Theta border ethnic cross border ethnic groups kan ti insurgency kan ti ani law pon heta security issues kan ti apo Myanmar hi a crucial ema chuan Myanmar ne na kan incorporate chat kha angay na sa even in terms of energy security kan ti ang chi ate po mo India pay it imports nearly 80% of its fuel in terms of oil and natural gas. And Myanmar is very important for India in terms of energy security. Kang anga khan chuan counterbalancing China tikanta India needs to increase its presence in Myanmar. Mo for what? To counter the growing Chinese dominance in the region. Chuan tuna tipo unfortunately heng zong zong ki 2021 khan in India hian in vision ama khazan vision chattak Myanmar ne na in relationship chalu tuk tur khan in India khan allow nei ve na sa tota investments te po allow ti ve nim to ni tomorrow to February 2021 khan in Myanmar military seized the power and after detaining Suu Kyi Kamo and other democratic elected leaders kanti khanita chuan since then the army has been controlling the state to nga chuanin enge tilkha aboy thak chole tavik ani chu amaro to despite all that India khanin it keeps abstaining from voting on the Myanmar resolution mo chan kang ang tepo kha enge engtinge India hanin kami enge military junta kha va counter engtinge relationship ne pui atum ti angzong tepo khanin question kha alo omve ta a chuanin India believes that the solution to the crisis in Myanmar needs to come from the region. Mo kang anga kanin a region atanga solution ka aron kal angaya UN General Assembly vela kanin believe ka ani thatok law ani ite po ka han chetayla India pe chuanin enge khang ang hau kha Myanmar chuanin kan aspects nei thei ang chu alo nita economic relations te kan han en chuanin India hi chu it is the fifth largest trading partner of Myanmar mo but trade remains below potential ti te po kha han chitaila enge democracy te anon nei chawa yanga khanin India po khanin enge opportunities tam takha amuve nasa ani chu amaro chu tu na kan soi ang bok khanin thil kha kan rindan ang lau khanin nge ki mani poina nge vision kan nei thiam lau ang tak khanin akal na sa te ema infrastructure development and connectivity te po kha border roads ang ti te po khan akalpui na sa man ema entinan construction of India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highway kanti ang ti te mo which connects Guwahati in India with Mandalay and Yangon in Myanmar mo, and it finally culminates in Thailand kami trilateral highway kanti constructions te po kha local pui na sa to ema tulawa chuanin Kaladan multimodal highway project kanti ang ti te po kha nakina Act East kan ron zirin kha chu tlemin kha ai chiang de zokin karon so yanga I khang ang te po kha I India khanin enge investments kha allow ni ve na sa to ema I development aid te po khanin and schools and health centers infrastructures kanti ang te soft power ang mang khanin India khanin development aid te po kha enge billions ang khanin allow ni ve man to ani to tunga chuanin disaster relief te po kantia cyclone Mora comment kanti ang chia te COVID-19 pandemic kanti ate PPE kit te hanthona testing kits le khati vaccine diplomacy anga te po khanin I athon na sa ema mo khang angkha alaw nita Defense and Security Cooperation na te po hianin Operation Sunrise kanti te tuan IMBAX kanti ang si te hau po ka corporations anlaw NATO na Joint Maritime Patrols kanti ang si 2013 na chang te kan anlaw kalpui ve na sa to ema tuanin militant camps northeast border areas ang ate po kanin destruction of military camps to kan mate ka anlaw lave na sa to tani so entiunan Indian Army kanin 2015 kanin operation aron carry out which was against the NSC and more Nagaland kami enge underground group kan ne anga anga kanin Indian Army kan operation ka aron carry out hang tipo ka Indo Myanmar border bula kan anita kang anga tipo kan cooperation ka minne chat puive ema chung ang chu alaw nita ke mani na kan relationship kan ne puida na chuanin enge amara chu important issues anga biga chuanin natina karon soito ang kanin India han tu na hanin Rohingya Muslim singli veli and host ani so who are denied citizenship in Myanmar and they seek refuge in India to escape religious persecution and to avang kanin kang ang tipo ka Rohingya how te ka India po hanin enge allow sympathize ve na sa ema amaro chu ka kakima ni po ina resources te kanin da ilaw ve to na kalay kanin mo kang ang lean money from their side anga po Muslims katiang takati duda anlaw to te ka India kanin enge Asia law ka ative ani so kang ang tipo ka operation shang tipo ka an launch ve a humanitarian crisis tak ani so lawatan natina kanon so ito ang kanin China factor hi alian ve na sa China is continuing to rise in Myanmar mo. So far, India it has found it very difficult to counter Chinese influence in Myanmar. Since Belt and Road Initiative BRI project kanin Myanmar agreed to be a part of BRI projects. Chuanin inge Strait of Malacca chungchanga te Indian Ocean chungchanga te kanin direct link ka allow pass zel boxya mo kanga kanin irritants ka atam so India Pohan it is also losing friends because of the widespread discontent over continuing delay in the completion of flagship programs kanti entinan kaladan trilateral highway kanti bite India Myanmar transact ngi ulahi mi pani ang bite answer ka atui thaila wabang kanin points in ne ang khatutyang khan ziak ula khang anga tipo khanin problems ka alaw de to China chanju and postpone na sa boksa mo and projects kalpui ang ate ka tu ajan kaladan kan law zero huna po in klingi and kalpui ti ka kanon shele anga kanon siya tawle anga chunga chanin kan way forward ni thaya chanin enge and military government nen han engtinge engagement nei thei dan ti India ina engtinge asoi ang timo engtinge ma alak tum ang ti kha alaw ni tamea atan to the situation kan han sha dan so it is what it is kha ni to top ta somehow kan policy act is te kan kalpui don kha chuanin somehow we have to find a compromising point mo khang anga khanin totally against it anga kan thei lau hun te po kha hemi region a hi chuan angai don ta chunga chuanin trade and investment corridor ang te kan ron soi to trilateral kaladan kan ti ang si tele Mekong subregion mo khang anga te khanin I engti nge malak zel ang chi te kha alo ni ta nga chu chu Myanmar ne na kan relationship chuanin a significant points to allow ni ta me nga I ashan pa in material pa ngai de le kita chuan ka ron pele cheu nga athui em ma chuan chuan kan zir zo man cha po ka ring lawa hemi bi ka chuan hei heng tang te poi ka ron da akala dan multimodal transit project te po engtin nge akal dan tour ang te mo he ta aizol long tlai zorin pui he ta kaletwa he ta sidway port atangin he ta kolkata ne engtin nge in connect dan ang te kha khang ang te kha act is policy kalpui na vek ang kha alani ani chu ma chu chu engtin nge tun thleng kwa I enge malak na ala om kan ti ang te kha alo ni ta chuan du le too much of information po kha athalo ka tia chuwang chuan in e India Sri Lanka hi soile ka tuma mar chu kan du to kang hi mi bi ka han zani na tan chuan chuan nak tu ka chuan in India Sri Lanka a kan tan anga
Recording stopped.